Healthcare, it's one of the most personal and honestly, one of the most complicated systems in all of our lives. But today, we're going to talk about a powerful new force, artificial intelligence, that is set to change literally every single part of it. Let's dive in. When you strip it all down, healthcare is supposed to be a pretty simple two-way street. On one side, you've got patients, right? People who need care. On the other side, you have the providers, the doctors, the hospitals who give that care. Care flows one way and money flows back the other. Simple, clean.
But then things got complicated. Medicine got way more sophisticated. And with that sophistication, costs just went through the roof. All of a sudden, one bad accident, one serious illness, could create a financial hole so deep no single person could ever climb out of it. And that simple, elegant model, it broke.
And that gets us to the absolute core problem that reshaped the entire system, the problem of risk. So what do we even mean by risk in healthcare? Well, it's the chance, the possibility of facing a huge, maybe even catastrophic financial loss just because you needed medical care. You have no idea when you might get sick or just how much it could cost. And that uncertainty, that is a massive problem.
So what's the fix? The solution is a really clever concept called risk pooling. And the idea is actually beautiful in its simplicity. Instead of having one person carry that entire terrifying financial weight, you spread the risk out across a huge group of people. The burden shifts from just you to all of us.
Okay, think of it like this. In any big group, a tiny, tiny fraction of people, let's say 1%, are going to have a really bad year and need incredibly expensive care. We're talking $100,000 worth. Then you'll have a bigger group that needs some moderate care. But the vast majority, they'll need very little, and some won't need any care at all that year. So by pooling everyone's money together, you can cover it all, from the minor stuff to the major catastrophes. And when you do the math for our example group here, that scary, unpredictable risk gets replaced by a much more stable, predictable average cost. For this group, it's $5,950 per person. The system works. But wait, someone has to manage that giant pool of money, right? And all that risk. Well, this created the need for a whole new set of players in the game, and they changed the system forever. So, remember our simple little two-way street? It's about to get a whole lot more crowded. A brand new layer gets inserted right into the middle of everything, and it completely changes how money and care flow between patients and doctors. We call these new players intermediaries, but you probably know them better as insurers or payers or health plans. Their whole job is to collect all the money, either from premiums or from taxes, pool it all together, and then use that big pot of money to pay the providers for the care that their members get. And these intermediaries, they generally come in two main flavors. First, you have your private insurance companies, which get their funding from premiums paid by you and your employer. And then you have government payers, like Medicare in the US, which are funded by our taxes and usually cover specific groups of people. Okay, so that's the playing field. It's this complex web of patients, providers, and intermediaries all kind of balancing their own interests. But now, an entirely new player is stepping onto that field, one with the power to disrupt absolutely everything: artificial intelligence. And look, AI isn't just another small improvement. It's a genuine catalyst. It's a new kind of intelligence that's being woven into this already intricate system, and it promises to revolutionize how we diagnose diseases, how we deliver treatments, and how we pay for all of it. I mean, the potential applications here sound like they're straight out of science fiction, but they are rapidly becoming science fact. We're talking about AI that can spot a tumor on a scan that a human doctor might miss, robotic surgeries performed with superhuman precision, and the ability to discover new life-saving drugs in months instead of decades. And this isn't some far-off dream. This promise is already showing up in clinics today. AI can give a doctor life-saving insights in seconds, right there in the exam room. It can act like a safety net, catching potential medication errors. And by just making the whole system smarter and more efficient, it has the potential to bring down the crazy high costs of care.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, with all of this incredible world-changing promise, there comes some very real peril. This same technology that could save millions of lives also brings up some of the hardest questions we've ever had to face.
And it really all boils down to this one central question that we have to keep asking. At the end of the day, do these incredibly powerful tools actually help patients, or do they end up causing harm? And the ethical minefield here is huge.
Of course, there's the privacy of our most sensitive health data, but we also have to ask, what data are these AIs being trained on? If an AI only learns from data about one group of people, will it be able to properly diagnose everyone else? And how much should a doctor really trust an AI's output when someone's life is on the line?
So this is the crucial point. In medicine, professionals have what's called a fiduciary duty. It is a sacred trust. It's an ethical and a legal obligation to act only in the best interests of their patient. Period. Nothing else is supposed to matter.
And that right there sets up the final and maybe the most important part of this whole story. The questions that all of us really need to start asking as AI becomes a permanent fixture in our healthcare.
See, you have to remember, the system is already this delicate balancing act between three different groups: patients who just want to get better, providers who want to deliver good care, and the intermediaries who need to manage financial risk. And now we are adding a fourth, incredibly powerful intelligence into that mix. AI coming to healthcare isn't a question of if anymore. It's here. It's a question of when and how. Every single human in this system has that duty, that ethical obligation, to serve the patient's best interests. So the ultimate question we have to answer is this: who or what programs the AI to do the same? And who's really in control?